Hello there, my name is Thomas O'Regan. I'm a professional property investor here in Australia. Over the last 4 years, me and my wife have 20x'd our equity position in our property portfolio. That's some huge growth. Now, I wanted to talk today about what is the reality of investing in property when you stretch it over a long enough time horizon. Now, this is where you've got to really have a firm understanding of how inflation works and how hard assets what happens to hard assets in inflationary environments when compared to a fiat currency. What is a fiat currency? I'll just go briefly over that. A fiat currency is a paper currency backed by the government's promise to tell you that it's worth something. And if you don't know, money that we use is fiat currency. It's essentially worthless. It's just paper. It doesn't matter if one day the government goes broke or the central banks shut down. We will absolutely not be, all the money will be worthless. The only thing that will have any value at that point is assets and skills and stuff like that. It's something that you can trade, right? Now, want to get back to what the topic of the video is, and it is property over a very long time horizon grows beyond anyone's imagination. And I only picked up on this recently. I know that when you look at property growth on a short time horizon, some people can get very upset by the fact that it hasn't grown in 10, like if they buy a property and it hasn't grown in 10 years, can upset people a lot and make them want to sell their property, which is fine. I sell properties too that I own, but I understand that in the long run, the more properties I own, the more wealthy I will be. And again, when you look at it on a short time horizon, it just has no comparison to if you look at it on a long time horizon. So let me give you an example here. In 1894, you could buy a farm in Bendigo for 300 pounds. And before 1960, in Australia, we used to use pounds, which were basically £1 is equal to about $2. So it was about the property was sold for £161, so it's just a little over $300. This was farmland in Bendigo, and Bendigo is in Melbourne. The farmland was about 16 acres, and I checked that property's price today that was sold in 1894, which was over 130 years ago. That property that was sold over 130 years ago was sold for $161. Yes, you heard me right. The property sold for $161, and today the property is worth $1 million. So just roughly, let's say the property went up in value by 3,000 times. So what do you think's happened to that property everywhere in between? The property, maybe for 10 years, maybe for 20 years, it didn't grow. Maybe it went on a huge boom. Maybe it came back down. Maybe there was lots of periods of time where the property wasn't able to be sold. But over a long period of time, and the longer you look at the time horizon, the more growth in a compounding fashion that the property has. So if you know that today a property is anywhere from $500 to $1 million, please understand that even if that property doesn't grow for 10 years, it's a lemon, but it's not a lemon over a long enough time horizon. The property will eventually get to the point 130 years from now where it would have grown about 3,000 times. Now, so how do wealthy people get wealthy? They just understand that fact and they just keep on buying as much property as they possibly can, and they hold it in their family for as long as they possibly can until some stupid son or daughter along the line, goes on a coke bender and blows all their family inheritance because he didn't learn how to manage wealth. Now, I'm not saying like it's good to grow up wealthy and I don't need that sort of stuff. I don't need to be giving my children any inheritance of wealth, but I'm just saying, like, why would you choose to make money any other way that when you can see how easy it is to just go from, if you own one property, it's going to go up by 3,000 times. Imagine owning two, imagine owning three, imagine owning four. If you have the capacity to buy more properties, buy more properties. And I'm not about buying properties that are negative cash flow. That's not what I'm talking about. The type of properties I invest in are positive cash flow. So effectively, the more properties I buy, the more properties I buy, like, it doesn't financially affect me in terms of how much money I need to put aside for those properties. The more properties I buy, they service themselves, is what I'm saying. They're cash flow positive, so it's like, why would I not keep going? Why not? All right, guys, see ya. Bye.